Welcome everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. Now, let us start. The first novel we have. The book, Astral Apostle, is about a man named Zhou Qing who discovers the power to travel to different astral realms and creates vessels for his soul to project onto different realms. He realizes that human civilization is not completely ignorant of the existence of other realms and becomes the only being able to travel amongst countless different shapes and forms. It is a clash of fate between multiple dimensional worlds and multi-dimensional factions. The overall rating for the book is 88. On to the next novel we have. The book titled Wisher Beware has a rating of 86 and tells the story of an individual with advanced knowledge in a society that relies on primitive methods. The protagonist becomes a slave in a matriarchal society, and the story contains sexual content relevant to the plot. The author notes that it is a rational fantasy with a unique approach to the isekai genre and that the plot progresses slowly at the beginning but builds off previous achievements. Readers are advised to check the reviews for more information. On to the next novel we have. Damn Reincarnation is a story about a warrior named Hamel who dies before the battle with the devil. He is then reincarnated as Eugene Lionheart, a descendant of fellow warrior Vermouth. Eugene discovers he has new abilities and faces challenges in a new world where demons exist. The story follows Eugene's journey of unfinished business from his past life. The reviewer rated the story 86 out of 100. On to the next novel we have. The story is about a game where humans become demon kings and heroes on another world. The protagonist, Zhang Nu, starts out as an abyssal dragon demon king, the strongest starting bloodline. He can see hidden information and learns about different demon king bloodlines that vary in quality. The description ends by recommending the abyssal dragon bloodline. The rating given by the reviewer is 88. On to the next novel we have. The article titled Knight's Nomenclature is rated 88 and describes a futuristic world where technology and fiction collide. It emphasizes the importance of survival and using fire to combat the darkness. On to the next novel we have. The story is about a player who finds themselves trapped in the game Dungeon and Stone. They must pretend to be a fearless, savage barbarian to keep their secret. The story ends with the computer syncing. The rating given is 86. On to the next novel we have. The story is about Ji Yu Chong, who transgresses into a fantasy world and becomes the fated villain. Though the world's protagonist vows to take revenge on him, Ji Yu Chong is envied by everyone, including the female lead. He discovers a system dedicated to harvesting from the protagonist and decides to fulfill his destiny as the villain. The reviewer rated it 86. On to the next novel we have. The novel is called Kill the Sun and is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has been destroyed by specters. Nobody remembers the past and specters reign supreme. The story follows a boy with amnesia who grows up in the worst part of Crimson Fungus City and becomes a Zephix extractor. However, due to gaining powers from a specter in the past, he is ineligible for the prestigious position until a mysterious man arrives to help him. The reviewer gave it a rating of 86. On to the next novel we have. The story is about Zhang Chongsheng, who was switched at birth and raised as a Taoist. He gains the power to not die from aging through the survival system and receives rewards for surviving dangerous events. After 300 years, the Jing kingdom is falling and the puppet king begs Zhang for help to regain their glory. It is set in a world where kingdoms, demons, martial arts rule, and gods don't exist. On to the next novel we have. The article is titled Leveling Through Lust and received a rating of 88. It is about a man in a fantasy world who is ostracized and in pain because he cannot level up. However, he discovers an alternative source of experience. On to the next novel we have. The article discusses a strange situation where someone's non-existent daughters have apparently started regressing due to missing their mother. The article has a rating of 88. On to the next novel we have. The Legend of the Northern Blade follows Jin Mu Wan, the son of a disgraced leader, as he trains in the mountains to master his ancestors' fighting techniques after being accused of colluding with the enemy. He embarks on a journey to avenge his father's death and take down the villains who threaten the world. This show has a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have Swordmaster's Youngest Son is about Jin Runcandle, the youngest son of a famous swordmaster who gets kicked out of their clan. He meets a tragic fate but is given a second chance by a god who gives him a new power. Now, Jin must use his power for good and become the world's strongest swordmaster while living up to his greatest potential. My rating for this story is 86. On to the next novel, we have the novel, Top Tier Providence, Secretly Cultivate for 1,000 Years, follows Han Ju's journey as he discovers he can live his life like a video game in a cultivation world. He spends years re-rolling his cultivation potential and connate Providence and decides to cultivate in a low-profile manner for longevity. 1,000 years later, he must take action when the immortal realm decides to clean up the mortal world. Han Ju realizes that deities and gods aren't as powerful as he thought. The reviewer gives it a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have the novel, My Girlfriend from Turquoise Pond Requests My Help After My Millennium Seclusion, is about a man named Zhang Lan who becomes a disciple of the Ninth Summit in the Grand Desolate World. He decides to cultivate in seclusion and acquires several divine powers and aids along the way. He keeps his cultivation level a secret and aims to remain a low-key disciple until he is strong enough to take on any obstacles. When he finally emerges from his seclusion, he learns that Kunlun has found him a fiancé and his girlfriend from Turquoise Pond requests his help. The novel has a rating of 86. On to the next novel, we have The Reincarnator's Tavern is a crossover fanfiction that incorporates various popular franchises and power systems. The story is set in a unique tavern and follows the adventures of reincarnated characters from different worlds. It contains elements of jump chains and D&D and includes 3 chapters. The author's rating for the story is 88. On to the next novel, we have The Perfect Run is a story about Ryan Romano, an adventurer with the ability to create a save point and redo his life when he dies. He arrives in New Rome and finds a city torn between megacorporations, sponsored heroes, superpowered criminals, and monsters. Ryan decides to try different paths, from hero to villain, until he finds his perfect ending, no matter how many times he needs to restart. The story has a rating of 86. On to the next novel, we have Mother of Learning is a story about a teenage mage, Zorian, who is stuck in a time loop after being killed on the eve of a festival. He must unravel the mystery and survive in a world of magic filled with dangers. The reviewer gave it a rating of 88. On to the next novel, we have the title of the book is Reincarnation Paradise, and the reader gave it a rating of 92. The story follows a young man named Su Xiao who seeks revenge for his family's death. As he is dying, he is given the opportunity to be reincarnated and becomes a hunter. He travels through different worlds, including One Piece, Tokyo Ghoul, Naruto, and more, completing dangerous missions and leveling up. On to the next novel, we have the title of the story is Bringing Culture to a Different World. The rating given by the summarizer is 86. The story is about a demon prince named Joshua who plans to bring Earth's culture to the demon race's new world and conquer it through entertainment, starting with making movies to change people's impression of demons. That's the end of this video. I will see you soon in the next video. Happy reading.